Ni hao. Good day. My name is Tanya Woods, and I am the CEO of Futurity Partners, a strategic consulting firm supporting companies engaged in sustainability, blockchain and digital assets, and exponential innovation projects. I'm delighted to speak with you about sustainable finance, blockchain, and impact metrics and data. I've spent the last 10 years really focusing on how we can build better solutions, leverage existing technologies, and make systemic improvements to create a better future for our families, friends, colleagues, neighbors, and for our planet. In the last number of years, we've certainly seen a rise of discussions around environmental, social, and governance practices. It's nice to see progress being made and a rise in conversation, but we still have quite a ways to go. Three key areas of activity have emerged. First, we are seeing global guiding points and goals, including the United Nations Sustainability Goals, where nearly 200 countries have ratified their commitments to achieving these goals by 2030. Second, we have seen international and domestic government frameworks emerge to encourage and mandate environmental, social, and governance, or ESG, reporting by companies in hopes that they will act responsibly. And we are seeing increasing national reporting mandates being introduced. And third, we have seen innovation being driven and prioritized by governments and key business sectors to improve climate and social inequities. Certainly, this has been the case in Canada, as well as in other countries around the world. I would be remiss not to note that we are also seeing fintech innovation emerge to enable open data, access to banking, and enhanced transparency for investors and consumers alike. I am hopeful for our future, and the way the global community is coming together is certainly promising. At times, progress feels a little slow, but in truth, we are still at the beginning of a total global and systemic update. And it is good things are moving forward. With these opening thoughts complete, I would like to share a few observations that I have had on my journey into sustainable finance over the last decade and share a little bit with you about what I am expecting down the road. First, we must consider the term sustainable finance and agree upon a common definition so that we can all act in tandem together. Sustainable finance is about the transformation of financial systems, including the products, markets, stakeholders, expectations and needs, practices and processes that are in place or need to be put in place to ensure we can achieve a long and bright future for generations to come. To do this, we must balance economic, social, and environmental objectives and align each to the common goal of sustainability. Second, our goals must be both near and long term. We must think about challenges that are in front of us today and that are indisputable truths. These challenges may relate to supply chains, the design of our financial economic models, and they may relate to the way humans interact with the world around them. In fact, our challenges relate to all these relationships and systems that we have in place, and so we must critically and objectively review these areas to find improvements that can be made to ensure we are not causing harms to our humanity and our planet, which can now be avoided. This work may seem daunting and insurmountable at times, but if we start our work now, step by step, leveraging the data we have, creating new data sets where we are blind, and applying the knowledge available today, then great improvements and gains are possible. Third, it is our job today to consider the future of our children, our children's children, and generations to come. There is a significant sentiment globally that indicates a shared view that humans want to have a healthy planet to call home and live in a world where people can thrive, be healthy, and achieve a state of well-being. Our humanity is dependent on the health of our planet. Although this realization has made the front page of newspapers for years, the fact remains we still have work to do. How we invest our resources and our time, the companies we choose to support through business or trade, and the systems we choose to enable or dismantle and reimagine are all activities that are reflective of our true commitment to creating a sustainable future, whether in finance or otherwise. We must be accountable for our actions. 4. Action is required. It is time for mandatory corporate reporting on ESG and ESG-aligned data and activities to be put into place in global markets. There needs to be public and transparent data that is verifiable, and public and private companies alike, as well as governments and other organizations, should all be accountable to report. The goal is not to increase bureaucracy, but rather to try and establish data benchmarks that are accurate, transparent, and consistent globally so that everyone can better understand the current state of affairs and progress as it is being made in real time. 5th, we need to leverage technology and innovation to help us. This is where my love of blockchain comes in to our conversation. Blockchain technology enables open, transparent, and immutable data capture in near to real time around the world. Depending on the design of the blockchain, this data has the capacity to truly be transformative and democratize access to important information. Right now, there is significant fear, uncertainty, and doubt in global markets, with good reason. With improved access to trusted information, knowledge sharing, and capacity building, as well as to open transparency regarding corporate and government actions relating to environmental, social, and governance issues, there is no doubt we could improve upon and potentially dramatically reduce these fears, uncertainties, and doubts that plague markets and economies during difficult times like these. Blockchain technology is not the only solution, but it is certainly key to ensuring this becomes possible. In fact, there are millions of blockchain projects that have evolved over the last decade that demonstrate the capacity and opportunity for blockchain to improve supply chains, governance systems, products, processes, and impact-oriented applications, including countless examples related to financial innovation, social and environmental impact, and governance. I believe blockchain offers tremendous lessons and opportunities for those seeking to apply it to the vertical of sustainable financial innovation. From financial tracking and data tracking to lessons learned to date about green cloud infrastructure and high-performance computing, to the enablement of transparency regarding ESG metrics and other impactful data sets, we are only at the beginning of the merger between blockchain, sustainability, and financial information. When juxtaposed against artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, the Internet of Things, and the ever-connected world we are living in, it should be no surprise that I will encourage you to innovate, roll up your sleeves, and dig in to solve our tough problems. Ban Ki-moon himself told us some years back that we are of humanity that has this level of interconnected technological capacity, and we are the last who can address some of these most challenging environmental and social issues affecting life on our planet today. This must not be taken for granted. We must not pause or study for too long. We must act, innovate forward, and consider the generations to come. There is no completely right way to undertake the task at hand. They have never been done before. And while we can learn from history, and we should, we must also stay humble in the face of the future, but nevertheless engage. For some practical inspiration, I would like to share briefly 2 Canadian projects that I find interesting, which demonstrate novel ways to undertake sustainable financial innovation. The first relates to carbon credits. These are credits that are bought to offset carbon-emitting activities. Blockchain technology has enabled a true and accurate reporting chain relating to carbon credit purchase and use. Through the use of utility tokens that represent carbon offsets that have been purchased, those seeking to track the purchase of their credits and retire them upon use so in a transparent, verified, immutable, and trusted way through a carbon utility token platform created by cut.eco. These utility tokens enable the establishment of a verified ledger to facilitate ESG reporting and accounting, but also introduce a new type of ESG asset, that which is based upon blockchain and a utility token framework. Over time, further innovation will become possible and certainly transformative with regards to provenance of, in fact, the origin of these credits and the impact of the projects on our planet and their restorative and regenerative efforts. Also, there has been tremendous innovation in the social impact space, an area that has been hard to measure in a quantifiable and consistent manner. I have been engaged in this issue for many years in hopes of achieving data that can be understood for social issues. In-kind giving is the area of innovation where I have focused. I've created the world's first peer-to-peer in-kind giving ledger that assists in mapping and tracking and verifying needs as well as resources available to meet those needs. This is a way to reallocate resources from waste and further to encourage and broaden social and philanthropic engagement at a peer-to-peer scale. If we are all to roll up our sleeves and make improvements from a social impact perspective, then we must create tools and innovation that will enable and encourage this to happen. Cash-based solutions are simply not inclusive, and this is why we've invented this type of innovation. We have come an incredibly long way when we consider the rapid pace that we are seeing in relation to sustainable financial innovation, whether it's climate, social impact, or governance-oriented. The last decade has been tremendous as a growth opportunity and has left us with many lessons upon which we can now grow, scale, and iterate upon. I encourage you, as you consider some of the thoughts shared in this talk, to apply yourself, the areas you are an expert in, to sustainable financial innovation, and consider how you may advance your and our global objectives. Thank you for your time, and I hope you have a wonderful conference. 谢谢。